The French Foreign Legion. The story behind one of the best military units in the world dates back to the 1830s and the period after the French July Revolution and the rise of King Louis Philippe of the House of Orleans. One of the king's first tasks was to disband the mercenaries of the Swiss Guard and the regiment of Hohenlohe. In no time, Paris was crawling with Swiss and German troublemaking ex-soldiers. The beginning of the French campaign in Algeria seemed to be a solution. If these veterans were deployed to northern Africa as reinforcements, they would be far from the capital. From the point of view of the king, their lives were not as important as the lives of French soldiers, so they were perfect for Algeria. On March 9, 1831, King Louis Philippe signed the ordinance on forming a military formation for service outside France, the Légion étrangère, or Foreign Legion. French citizens were forbidden to join the unit. As speed was of great importance, recruits were not obliged to present their papers in order to enlist into the Legion. No questions were asked, so the Legion became a melting pot of ex-mercenaries, criminals, and desperate colonists. They were all shipped to Algeria, which became the cradle of the Foreign Legion. For almost 2 centuries, the French Foreign Legion has been the striking force of French colonization, from Algiers to Indochina and from France to Madagascar. Discipline of the Legion. The French Foreign Legion is a distinctive unit of the French army to this day. Their bravery, determination, and strict discipline as values for which they are known for are based on the Legionnaires' code of honor. When they enlist, the code asks for honor and fidelity followed by comradeship, discipline, and courage. Every Legionnaire is demanded to respect the traditions of the Legion, to train rigorously, and put his mission above anything else, even his own life. There are over 140 nationalities, mainly from Central and Eastern Europe, and then Asia and South America. And with men from all different backgrounds, races, religion, social class, and political views, a strong esprit de corps is needed. Upon joining, recruits swear allegiance to the Legion rather than to France, something that is unique within the French military. And for a Legionnaire, surrender is not an option. In combat, a Legionnaire has to respect the enemy he has defeated, never leave his arms, and never leave wounded or dead comrades on the battlefield. After 3 years of service, a Legionnaire can get French citizenship, and as part of the Français par la sang glacée, or French by spilled blood. If a Legionnaire is injured in combat, he can immediately apply to become a French citizen. The strict discipline of the Legion became a solid tradition and was a necessity in handling the diversity of enlisted soldiers. During its history, the Legion gathered various types of people from around the world. Those who enlisted to join the Legion were not asked about their past lives, but were given the opportunity to build a new life by serving. In such a manner, the Legion gathered many men with suspicious pasts. After the Second World War, the controversy of such an approach increased as the Legion became the sanctuary for many ex-German soldiers. It is said that many Waffen-SS were recruited. However, bad press soon followed this, and new recruits were inspected for a blood-type tattoo or the scar where they tried to hide it. The truth was that many of the Legionnaires were criminals, thieves, and murderers running away from the law, but many others were just adventurers or desperate men who seeked a new life. Intense training and strict discipline are the basis to overcoming the problematic behavior of individuals. Legionnaire training is designed to destroy each soldier's individuality and past, and form a sense of comradeship. It was because of this that the French Foreign Legion is one of the fiercest military units in history. Uniform. Distinguished by their discipline and valor, Legionnaires also look different than that of the rest of the French army. Since 1873, the symbol of the Foreign Legion is the 7-flame grenade. The typical attributes of the Legion has the leftmost and rightmost flame pointed downwards, contrary to the rest of the army. The 7-flame grenade also stands as a symbol on the red and green flag of the Legion. Red and green are traditional colors of the Legion, carrying the tradition of the Second Foreign Legion, the Swiss Legion. Swiss mercenaries carried flags with these colors and brought them along when they joined the Legion and formed the 2nd Battalion in 1856. Along with the Swiss, the Legion adopted their colors as well. With several distinctive details, the uniform of the Legion is representative of their history and tradition. The oldest element of the Legion uniforms were the buttons, which were defined by the Royal Ordinance from 1831. According to this, the buttons were gold and yellow and have the inscription Légion étrangère. However, the most distinctive feature of the Legionnaires' uniform was the white képi, the la képi blanc. Kepis were actually blue with a red top and used to be covered with a khaki cover, but due to sun exposure they turned white. From 1939, the Legion started to use a white cover for their kepis, while khaki covers remained in use for training until the 1970s. White cover kepis were being worn on guard duty during military ceremonies or as part of the walking out uniform. There are several variants of the Legionnaire kepi. The white kepi with a black strap is the standard one, while the white kepi with a golden strap is reserved for senior corporals and a silver strap for senior corporals of the cavalry. Senior corporals with more than 15 years of service and non-commissioned officers wore black kepis with a golden strap. Kepis are worn both with dress and combat uniforms. Other distinctive features were a blue sash, red and green epaulets, a green necktie, and a green beret. The la ceinture bleue, the blue sash worn by legionnaires around their waist, had a practical role in the past. It was worn under the uniform and served to protect from intestinal diseases and the cold African nights. Eventually, the blue sash became a matter of ceremonial decoration and started to be worn on top of the uniform. In 1882, the Legion obtained a blue sash, which was worn only on parades. The sash is 40 centimeters wide and 4.2 meters long. Epaulets became part of the Legionnaires' uniform in 1868. Exclusively, Legionnaire epaulets are in the traditional colors, consisting of a green field and red fringes. Below the epaulette on the left sleeve stands a diamond-shaped Legion insignia, the 7-flame grenade around which are tree green chevrons. 3 chevrons were used by the French Army of Africa, which the Foreign Legion was a part of. On the uniform, golden chevrons represented the years of service in the Legion. For every 5 years of service, the Legionnaire adds 1 chevron to his emblem. In the French army, only legionnaires have the right to add as many chevrons as they have earned, unlike others who were allowed to have up to 3 chevrons. Since green is the dominant color in Legion symbols, that's also the color of the necktie that is a part of the parade dress. Since the Foreign Legion is an exclusive unit of the French army, they are the only unit of the army that wears green neckties. Another headdress is the green beret. Le béret vert has more modern origins as it first appeared among Legion paratroopers during the Indochina War. In 1959, it became a standard part of the uniform for all Legionnaires. The beret is worn bent to the left, with a 7 Flames grenade badge on the right. Even though green berets are reserved for the Legion, French naval commandos wear it as well, but with the badge on the opposite side. Another recognizable element of the Legionnaire uniform is connected to the sapper unit of the Legion. In addition to the standard uniform, Legion pionniers, or sappers, are obliged to have large beards and wear Model 1848 buffalo leather aprons and polished axes on their shoulders. Finally, one last distinctive feature of the Legionnaires' uniform are black boots with white shoelaces, which are part of the parade dress. Combat history of the Legion. During the many years of the Legion's service to France, there have been many wars and operations in which it has proved its bravery and commitment to its code of honor. Through the 19th and 20th centuries, Legionnaires fought in Africa, Asia, Central America, Europe, and in both world wars. However, it was the Battle of Cameroon during the Mexican campaign from 1863 to 1867 that demonstrated the valor of the Foreign Legion. During the campaign on April 30th, 1863, the 3rd Company of the 1st Battalion made a reconnaissance mission from their base at Chiquihuite to the town of Palo Verde. Near the small abandoned village of Cameroon, the company was attacked by the cavalry of Mexican rebels. The Legionnaires retreated to a nearby farm where they fortified their position. Company commander Captain Jean d'Anjou, along with 2 other officers and 62 Legionnaires, refused to surrender to the unit of 600 Mexican cavalrymen. The number of Mexicans soon raised to 2,000 as 3 battalions came to reinforce the cavalry. Even then, the Legionnaires refused to surrender and decided to fight to the end. The battle lasted from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The majority of the company was killed, including Captain d'Anjou. The last 5 Legionnaires fought until they spent their ammunition. At that point, they fixed their bayonets and charged at the enemy. The Mexicans killed 1 Legionnaire and wounded another officer. Seeing their courage, Mexican Colonel Cambas, of French origin, ordered a ceasefire. He led the remaining 3 legionnaires, allowing them to carry their weapons and equipment to his commanding officer. When the commanding officer saw them, he shouted, "These are not men, they are devils." Captain Jean d'Anjou became a symbol of legionnaire bravery. In 1853, d'Anjou lost his hand in Algeria and instead wore a wooden hand. After his death at Cameroon, his hand was brought to France. Every year, Captain Jean d'Anjou's hand, as the greatest relic of the Legion, is paraded on April 30th, the most important holiday for legionnaires, the Cameroon Day. Subscribe and click the notification bell for more history videos.